Ladies and gentlemen, we all acknowledge the credible action is the source of strength and optimism in facing all global challenges, including biodiversity. Despite India having 17% of the global population, but only 2.4% of the land area and only 4% of its water resources, we are forging ahead in our efforts. Our forest and tree cover is steadily rising together with our wildlife population. Definitive steps are being taken to return the iconic cheetah to Indian habitats. India has taken a quantum jump in the number of declared Ramsar sites to the current figure of 75. As a large developing country, our forest policy is challenging to implement, but our forest surveys are testimony to its success. India's balance sheet is implementing the HE target, is proactive and forward-looking, and India is on track to meeting its commitments. Similarly, our agriculture, as for other developing countries, is the source of life, livelihoods, and culture for hundreds of millions. Such essential support to vulnerable sections cannot be called subsidies and targeted for elimination. While they are being rationalized, biodiversity must be promoted through positive investment. Similarly, a numerical global target for pesticide reduction is unnecessary and must be left to countries to decide. India has taken numerous steps to keep invasive alien species at bay, but a numerical target is not feasible without the necessary baseline and relevant scientific evidence. Excellencies, the global biodiversity framework must be framed in the light of science and equity, and the sovereign right of nations over their resources as provided for in the Convention on Biodiversity. If climate is profoundly linked to biodiversity, then the principle of equity and common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities must equally apply to biodiversity. When nature itself is under stress because of the historical disproportionate and iniquitous CHG emissions of the developed countries, nature-based solutions to global warming and other environmental challenges are not an answer without resolute action by developed countries to measure up to their historical and current responsibilities. Nature cannot protect if it is not itself protected. Nature is the victim of global warming, and its proactive features can do little against unchecked temperature rise. We cannot only conserve, preserve, or restore. We must also promote sustainable use, and it is in the context that Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, clarion call for a people movement centered on lifestyle for environment, launched on 20th October 2022. Excellencies, the provision of the means of implementation must match our ambition. Only our source of funding remains the global environment facility that caters to multiple conventions. The value of biodiversity to humankind also lies in its economic dimension alongside the cultural and social sustainable use, and access and benefit sharing are the key to promoting biodiversity alongside the efforts to conserve, protect, and restore. I reiterate that what is needed today is mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumption. In this context, our Honorable Prime Minister has launched the mission Life, which is the mass movement toward the environmentally conscious lifestyle. Embracing this, let us move forward toward the equitable and sustainable world by implementing the foundational principle of CBD, both in letter and spirit. It is in this spirit which has been captured so truly in the logo of India's G20 presidency, which calls for the one world, one family, or Vasudev Kutumbakam. Jai Hind.